Yes, people, what's going on? Good morning. Welcome to Stretford Paddock. I am Adam McCullough. So it's the morning after a dreadful night before Manchester United beaten 3-0 by Newcastle at Old Trafford in the Carabao Cup. And it was a fixture in the Carabao Cup last season that filled us with so much hope, so much expectation, so much ahead of this new season. Obviously, we got a trophy in the bag, another cup final and top four, top three. We finished third. But Manchester United so far this season have failed to capitalise off that season, failed to build on it, failed to show any transition, failed to show any further progression. And it all looks very ominous right now for Erik ten Hag. Although, after the game yesterday, Erik ten Hag has come out and said he will fight on. I back that as well. I'm firmly behind Erik ten Hag, although I am questioning some of the decisions he's making right now. And amidst all that, Manchester United received more bad news because, like always at Manchester United, it only goes from bad to worse. As we learned, Casemiro was now re-added to that injury list, having just come off the injury list, made his return in that game against Newcastle. We saw him go off at half-time. I was sat there with Abdullah and I said, I think this could be, basically because he's on a yellow card, maybe it's tactical, whatever. I didn't expect it to be an injury. And it is another injury for Manchester United. So whilst I don't think injuries are to blame for everything we are seeing at this moment in time, it's definitely playing a part. And we've seen that throughout this season. And to get another one, it's just abysmal right now, isn't it? It's not good at all. But we will get stuck into Erik ten Hag's words. We will, of course, speak about yesterday as well. But before we do that, do us a favour. Help cheer us up here at Stretford Paddock and hit that subscribe button. Get subscribing to the channel right now for all the daily content that we have. We'll have loads coming out and we'll be on the watch along as well on Saturday. I don't know why I'm putting myself through it, but it will be me, Jay and Joe on Saturday. So make sure you're hitting that subscribe button for all of that good stuff yet to come. But as I said, Erik ten Hag came out after the game yesterday and he said, I am a fighter. Erik ten Hag defiant after Newcastle humble Manchester United. A defiant Erik ten Hag has insisted he is a fighter and possesses the confidence to reverse Manchester United's fortunes after Newcastle knocked the holders out of the Carabao Cup. This was United's second successive 3-0 home defeat after Sunday's loss to Man City, which had not happened since 1962. Ten Hag's side have also lost 5 of their opening 10 matches at Old Trafford. The first time United have done so since 1930 is not a good sign when you're breaking all those records, is it? Ten Hag was asked if it was imperative that he is given time. He said, so I am a fighter. I know it is not always going to go up and we have a load of setbacks this season, but also you have to deal with it and that is never an excuse. I've said that before. I know that when there are setbacks, then you have to get results. Sunday and tonight was far from that, so we have to do things right at a certain level, the minimum level to win games. He was asked about criticism from outside the club from pundits who are questioning his ability to manage United. I understand it, he said. When the results are not there, it is also a logical process that they are questioning that. But I'm confident I can do it. At all my clubs I've done it. And also last year here, I did it as well. By this moment, we're in a bad place. I take responsibility for it. I see it as a challenge. I'm a fighter and I'm in that fight. And I have to make sure that I share the responsibility with my players and that we stick together and fight together and get better results. Goals from Almiron, Hall and Willock were all due to lax United defending. He said it is below the standards everyone expects from Manchester United. It is not good enough by far. We have to put it right. It is my team and they are not performing. It is his team and it's not performing. That's one of the things that, people run around saying these players have got this. All right, there's 1 or 2 players that are still there. But predominantly it's a whole different squad, And we've brought in loads of different players and you can argue about how those players were brought in, the loans and all this, that and the other, but it's not the same group of players that got Mourinho sacked. I just hate when people pull out all these lazy statements. Obviously something is going wrong at Manchester United at the minute. You feel like, coming into this season after last season, it tailed off a little bit. We had the cup final, yes, but you thought get some signings in the bag, get that midfield sorted, get your goalkeeper in, get your striker in, and we can see where we can go. The manager's brought those players in, but before he's had any chance to play his strongest 11, have we seen our strongest 11? Onana, Shaw, Varane, Martinez, Wan-Bissaka at right back maybe. Then you go, I don't know who the strongest midfield is at this moment. On paper, maybe Casemiro, Amrabat, Bruno. Amrabat, Mount, Bruno. I don't know. We've not seen our strongest 11 on a regular basis. Obviously, players and teams are going to have setbacks like that. You're going to have injuries and you have to work around them. And that's the problem for me. We're looking at this team at the moment and we're not seeing a team that looks like they're trying anything on the training pitch. And we can criticise the defence. It's hard to pick up a better defence at this moment. And maybe that's why we're always going long. We're not playing it out from the back because we haven't got the defenders to be able to play it out from the back. He's got Maguire there, who he didn't want to keep in the first place. And he's got, Lindelof there, who was third, fourth choice, has often been playing at full-back. So I can understand maybe why we can't play out from the back in defence. But then you look at some of the midfields he's been picking. McTominay and Eriksen in a Manchester derby. That's a head scratcher. Eriksen ain't got the legs to press, and McTominay hasn't got the brain to do a job in midfield. Like, we got duped by McTominay scoring a couple of goals when he came on basically up front, and he's picked him ever since. And I know Cobby's just coming back from an injury, but you had Amrabat there, Mason Mount, who you signed, both of them. We can talk about Amrabat coming in late again, and that's an issue. You had Hannibal, Mason Mount, Amrabat. Surely you can coach that selection on the training pitch into a better midfield three than what we've been seeing recently. Like, it just doesn't look like we're playing any sort of form of shape, any form of style. And you look at some of his biggest signings, Anthony, for example, shocking. I don't see the point in us signing him. Like, and it was a big signing. I agree with Gary Neville though. You can't always. You can blame the manager for maybe this talent identification, but then the manager shouldn't be in the position where he's calling all the shots. You remember how we made that signing? It was a knee-jerk reaction to losing 2 games at the start of the season. Imagine if that money was invested in a sensible manner. We knew that money was going to be there at the start of the transfer window instead of the Glazeronomics of, oh shit, we've just lost 2 games, let's buy some players. Like, things can be done differently and must be done differently, and the leadership has to come from the top to the bottom. But there are also massive things that we're getting wrong on the football pitch at the moment. Nevertheless, I can't be bothered with a whole new change of manager and all. And I'm just fatigued with it all. If this geezer ain't going to get it right, I don't know who is going to get it right. Like, we need to give him time to turn this around. And this is, like, I know we've had bad results last season, and this bad patch is going on for a while. This is his first bad patch. All right. It's been a long one, but just, I don't know, give him time to turn this around, man. You have to give him time to turn this around, I think. If not, what we're going to bring someone else in on a short term, have a little upswing in results, appoint them permanent. I can't be arsed with all that stuff. You also have to look at the fact that appointing new managers while this current regime is still in place literally makes no fucking sense. Well, not new regime, this regime of the Glazers are still in place. Again, I'm an optimist, so I'm clutching at straws here. But does the Ineos and Jim Ratcliffe thing bring a different edge in? We've seen how, clubs with different leadership can just take, you look at Newcastle, for example, different leadership, different structure. They look like a completely different team, even with the same players when the early days of that. So I don't know. A lot needs to change at Manchester United, but the manager would be one of the last things I'd be changing right now. Maybe that changes in a month or 2, but I ain't at that point yet. I'm still with him. And hopefully the dressing room is, if they're not, just shit out. Just get out. What's the point? You know what I mean? Of still being here. But yeah, what a depressing state of affairs for Man United fans. Casemiro's out. United are out of the cup. Probably the only competition we could probably realistically still win. Fun times, eh? Anyway, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And I'll see you in a bit.